Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. I'm super excited to be here with you today and sharing. We've got the gorgeous Melissa, who I'll introduce in a moment, who's joining us, who's joined us today. I wanted to share these segments, which are starting for us, are all about bringing on inspiring women who are creating their best lives in all sorts of ways. So if you are the sort of person and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to share aspects of my story, where I'm at, how I've created abundance in my life, be in touch with me, let me know, and there might be an opportunity, depending on our topic where we're at, for you to come on as well. So today is all about the lovely Melissa. So I'm going to introduce her. Melissa and I have known each other for about a year and a half now. We met through the mentoring group that we've both been together, and straight away I felt flipped when we met each other. You know, there was this natural, easy connection, which was so lovely. Melissa will tell you about herself. She is a wife, a mum, amazing nutrition and mindset coach, and so much more. So let me hand over to Melissa to share with you. Melissa, can you start by telling us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks a lot for having me. Really appreciate it. Love being able to chat and share with your audience. Tell me a little bit about myself. Yeah, like you said, Mum, I've got 3 kids and being married to a hubby, we met in high school. So, I'm very passionate about inspiring women to eat healthy food, ditch the diets, and really live a life that's a little bit more easier and a bit slower than the pace we're all running at.
Totally. I love that. I just want to go back for a moment. You met your husband in high school. How many of us watching this had that situation? I met my husband when I was in my late 30s. Such a difference, right? Going through all those years. But for you, it happened in those early days. Did you guys know straight away when you met each other, or how did that come to be? I'm sure people in this audience would also like to hear how that all happened.
So I actually met him the first time I was 14. He's 4 years older, so he was not interested, and just thought, I was a silly child, and so I was that annoying teenager. But we kind of went and saw each other at different parties and gatherings and events that we were going to over the next sort of like year to 2 years. And I guess, we just kept colliding in different situations. And I think initially I was very, very interested in him, and then kind of, got reciprocated, and then I got myself in a position where he was chasing me instead. So
I love it. You were the annoying teenager, 14 and 18. Not legal, couldn't go there.
No.
And then look what happened. Wow, that is really the love of your life, right?
It's been a long time, yes.
Amazing. So as the people in here know, a lot of the focus of what we do is all about relationships and creating relationships. I wanted to ask you, having been together for so many years, what do you see as, the key to having a successful relationship?
Well, my answer to that, I think, has changed over the years. We've always been very good friends, and I think that's key when you go through the hard times. Being friends is important. But I think the key is definitely communication, and for sure that it's something that if you want it to be successful, then you have to put effort in all the time. What we focus on, and expands. So as much time and energy you're putting into it is what you're going to get out of it. And I think I realized that, probably in my early 30s. And so, I was able to kind of, I guess, look at the relationship differently. And we're total opposites, so it works perfectly in that way. And we've just spent the last probably 3 or 4 years really working on our communication skills and there are so many specialists and coaches and experts such as yourself that have been able to help us, I guess, figure out how to navigate things that may have not gone the right way, but now we've got the tools, and it makes a big difference when you have those to be able to communicate and be able to know what the right things are and meet your needs. So which I think is key to meeting each other's needs as well as your own.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. And I agree, it's so important, that communication. It's often been said that communication and conflict resolution are the two key fundamental pieces of an effective relationship. So I love that you use those tools outside, coaches, support tools, because we all need them in different ways at different times to create that. It's one thing to create a relationship, but when you're in it for so many years and you want it to be an effective relationship, it's great to get that extra tool and support. And I've seen so many pictures of you guys online together and stuff, and clearly you're meant for each other, you're made to be. But we have life experiences and ups and downs and navigating. So, and prioritising time, like you say, is so important. A lot of people that I work with say, relationships are so hard and they've got these preconceived ideas. I don't believe they have to be hard, but like you say, you need to put in that effort, put in that time to create what it is that you're wanting. So, loving seeing what I see online with you guys. And, it's beautiful that you've got this partnership and that you've really grown together, right? You've really, I'm seeing now, I've been with my husband for nearly 2 years, but we didn't meet till our late 30s. We're really experiencing or starting to be growing old together. We've both, I've gotten glasses in the last couple of years, as one example. We're seeing each other. You've had this beautiful luxury of having that for so many years. So, such a gift.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well, Melissa, can you tell us a bit, I'm sure people here will be really interested in knowing, can you tell us a bit about your business? And also, I know I've got a keen interest in emotional eating. I'm sure other people do as well, because just, one of those things I say is, not anymore, there was chocolate over there by the side, especially in those moments where I was deep in work or 8 o'clock at night when my son goes to bed. I've really been working on shifting those things, and we've all got our own stuff when it comes to food. So can you share a bit about what you do and, emotional eating and that sort of thing as well? That would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, sure. So I think for me personally, I went through a very interesting relationship with food. Started off with a mum that said you had to eat everything on your plate. So you learned to eat everything on your plate. And
that's so common, isn't it?
Yeah. And
people say you've got to eat it. Oh, I might even be a culprit of that at one point. I need to be mindful of that, right? So good to have that awareness.
Yeah.
So that's what mum said.
Yeah, and they do it all in the best interest for you, but it means that you're not eating to what your capacity is, and you're not tuning into your body. And so those sort of things that we've created or have been installed in us as children really affect us in our adult life and our connection with our mind and body to know when we're full, or to know when we've eaten enough, because we eat with our eyes. And if we're looking at a plate that's really, really big and full, and we've told ourselves we have to eat everything on it, we will find a way to eat everything on it, whether it's to eat really fast or whether it's to just make sure that we get through the whole meal. So there's a lot that sort of comes in from that childhood experience, or from the things that were sort of taught to us or modeled to us, and we need to get a better understanding of that. Yeah.
I realized I've actually been saying to my son lately, can you just check in with your body, check in with your tummy? Is your tummy full now?
Yeah.
And so the other day he just bent over and he's like looking at his tummy and lifting his top up, because he wanted, to have a dessert afterwards, which we're working on. But the value of checking in with your body and having that awareness yourself, you're right, is so important.
Yeah. And I think we're all so busy, and we're all, especially for women, we we're great nurturers, and so we're always looking at how we can help and provide and be of service to other people. And we really start to, as we get older, lose that connection with ourselves and our needs. And when our needs aren't getting met, then we're trying to look for them in other ways, and that can be through food or some other version of comfort. And that's where that emotional eating can come in, or that comfort eating comes in. And sometimes it's overloaded, like we're done, we've got decision fatigue, the day was full on, and so that food can give us that distraction, and that distraction can be a chocolate or a bag of chips. If I have this, then I don't have to deal with what's happening right now, what I'm experiencing. And I actually teach my clients to connect with why are you numbing out? What are you choosing to numb out? And then we do a lot of work around that, so that we're getting a clear understanding what our behaviors are. So much of that is happening without us even realizing it. We can it's also automatic, and you know that because you go and eat like a whole bag of chips. You're like, how did I eat all of those? Like, I was just going to have a few. And it's amazing how our mind works. It's such a powerful thing, and it's really cool. But what it can do is create those habits that are kind of locked in, and it takes quite a bit of work to undo those habits. As simple as your mind connecting Netflix and the couch with a bag of chips. Every time you sit on the couch, watch Netflix, it's going to go to the other thing that it's used to doing. And so it wants to stay safe, it wants to stay comfortable, but also your mind is designed to not have to recall things. So that's where habits come in. So if it knows that the couch and Netflix equals chips, then that's what it's gonna ask for.
Yeah, that's what it's going to do. It's like the classical conditioning. Yeah, the dog that when the bell goes off, salivates because it knows the food's coming. We've got those associations. I have just changed it not too long ago, but as I was saying, I had the 8 o'clock, sun's gone to bed, time to relax, pull out the chocolate. And I've been really mindful of changing these habits. Same when I finished my training course, I run a training program, and in the evening, once that's done, food, you used the word decision fatigue, mine's like work day done, again, the same thing, just what I'm going to eat. Now I've actually gone chocolates onto a bit of celery and carrot and a bit of hummus, but it's this association of wanting something. So, and now moving to a cup of tea. But yeah, it's really training ourselves and learning what that emotional piece is. What are we wanting to feed? What are we giving ourselves that's beyond the food? It's meeting some sort of emotional piece, right?
Yeah. And I think we're also in a reward society. Like, you've done this, so you deserve a reward. You've done this, you've achieved this, you get a reward. You've had a hard day, you get a reward. You're really struggling in life, you need something to compensate. And so we're looking at how food can be a reward for us. And a lot of women do that at night. Like, the day was hard, I need a glass of wine, or the kids were hard work to put to bed, I need that chocolate. And so we're connecting our behaviors or what we've experienced to, we deserve it, let's have a reward here. And again, that's another form of coping and locking in another habit that we've got to undo.
Exactly, it really is. We reward ourselves for it, don't we? I mean, we can't go out to the shops and buy us flowers. So it's something that's close by. It's something that's tangible to go, right, let's reward you for whatever you've done. I guess alternatively, the reward could be picking up a book, lying in bed, putting your pajamas on. But there's something about that feeling of food as it's going into you, maybe not afterwards necessarily after you've eaten a whole block of chocolate. But in that moment, it gives you that feeling of relief. I know for me, for a long time, it was just this relaxation. I can relax now. It was almost permission to just unwind and relax. So noticing what those things are, noticing those associations, what you're saying as well, sounds like a really helpful way to get back. We always talk about being the fly on the wall and noticing your thoughts, noticing what you're saying to yourself, noticing those patterns that you're in, and oh, here we go, that's a reward. I'm rewarding myself for putting my son to bed or whatever it is that I'm doing. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a big area for a lot of us, and a lot of my clients have mentioned as well, the weight area, something they want to feel good about, especially if they're going down the dating path and they're wanting to put themselves out there again. They want to look good, but we also all want to feel good internally as well. And that's nutrition, that's mindset, that's so many different areas.
Yeah, we put really big expectations on ourselves, and and that that's where when we're feeling like we're not achieving them, or we're feeling like we're not excelling in areas, that reward system comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. So just noticing it, becoming aware of it. Oh, that's what I'm doing.
That's the first step, absolutely, is the self-awareness. And again, going back to, we are such amazing nurturers, and we're really good at looking after everybody else and not so much ourselves. We really do tune off that self-awareness, and it's really bringing that back in, because that can be the first step in how we can start making those changes. Because the more aware we are of our thoughts, feelings, emotions, and habits, the better we're going to be at being able to tweak those things and make those changes.
So good. And what I'm noticing for myself, because I've been working on this area for myself as well, is on a day-to-day basis. Like, I was initially really missing the chocolate, and not to say that I'll never have it. Like, I do have a couple of 85% milk chocolates that I occasionally bring into the house and stuff like that. But I'm noticing by shifting my eating and shifting my patterns, I'm feeling better internally. My clothes feel like they're fitting me differently. I'm starting to see the benefits of shifting. It's less about, I haven't had chocolate right now in this moment, and oh wow, I'm starting to feel better in my body, in my clothes, all those things. So I'm sure you get a lot of that with the people you work with that have been making that transition.
Absolutely. Yeah. So once you've sort of gone through those steps, the body does respond. And once you've made that progress, the body starts responding, and it's craving those foods. It's feeling so good. So the thought of going a bit backwards in most cases doesn't happen initially. We kind of stick with it. Unfortunately, it's not long term, because life starts happening and we get that piled on feeling, and we kind of go a bit backwards. So and that's why I think women get caught up in like dieting or emotional eating. We can break it and we come out of it and we feel really good, and then we go back into it's like, oh, why is this come back? Why has this happened? And it can just be simply we're not connecting to ourselves. We don't have that self-awareness again. Life's getting busy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the patterns and just noticing. It's our natural default, isn't it, to go back, and that's been a lot of my cycle of time of what's happened to me. But what I'm noticing, and what's being said to me as well, my friend and someone who also has been a bit of a mentor, Kate, has also said, don't think of it as a diet, think of it as a lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
And so it was really interesting. The other day I went to this live event, and we couldn't get food, and I was wanting to be all healthy, and I hadn't planned advance to brought food. So what did we have for lunch? I feel embarrassed to say it, but just chips. Yeah, that was lunch. We just had that, and I just let it go and thought, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Part of me that was really missing the good, the healthy food. I really wanted to have it. So it's about really doing the work, isn't it, to shift your patterns and start to see it not as a diet, but as a normal way of being.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And not putting so much pressure on yourself, like there's no other food I need to eat. That's what I'm going to have. Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. And that's what I did. No guilt, just it is what it is. And I'm going to make different choices next meal when I can. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wanted to ask you as well, what's your favourite quote, mantra, prayer that you have, that sort of something that guides you in life?
Quote, mantra. I'm a big fan of Jim Rohn, and I love take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And I don't know if you mind me saying this one as well, and Tony Robbins has used it a lot, is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yes, I love that too. Yep, you're the average of that. And so that first one you said, I just wanted to go to that for a moment. Take care of your body. It's the only one you have. Is that how you said it?
It's the only place you have to live.
The only place you have to live. So good. It reminds me of Wayne Dyer, who once said, your body's a shrine. And that really resonated with me, because you're right, it's the only place. And just even those words only, they're so powerful, aren't they? There's nowhere else. This is it.
Yeah.
So how are you treating your body? What are you eating? Oh, so good. I love that.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's important for us women that we're searching for this like perfect body, this perfect like look, and we forget that health that's on the inside, that's the stuff that's really, really important. How we feel on a daily basis, how much energy we have, how excited we are out in life. Are we jumping out of bed? Because we can get so caught up on the way that we look and how much we weigh and, you know, how we look in the dress. But none of that really matters if you feel like crap to get to that, or, you know, that's, you know, you're not showing up on a day-to-day basis feeling very good about yourself. So yeah, I think that's sort of, yeah, why it's key to be really thinking about your longevity and your life, and what do you want from it, and is health a priority for you?
So true. You're so right. It's how you feel on the inside. I don't know why this happened, but as you were saying that, I just got this vision of years ago, this tight dress that I was wearing, and I literally couldn't even put my arms up in the air because it was so tight. And I might have looked good on the outside, who knows, but on the inside, I was just feeling so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I just had that vision when you sort of think that, you know, it's really about what's going on internally. I love it. Are we jumping out of bed? How are we feeling? And those that are in this group know so much of what we do in here is about the mindset space. How do we shift how we're thinking about ourselves, our bodies, life, and nutrition's a big part of that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, that's why I do nutrition and mindset. I don't think we can do one area of a life without doing the other side, because we can work on it. But if our way of thinking about it is distorted, then we can't make that progress. And a lot of the times we don't know what we're thinking. We think we do, but we don't, because we're only using 10% of our conscious mind, and 90% of it is all in our subconscious mind. And that's why it's so great working with coaches or mentors or expert specialists, because they're able to come in and say, have you realized you're thinking about it this way? Have you realized you're looking about it this way? Or you have a belief system here that no longer serves you. And when we start to have that support in the mindset, we can really get to the places that we want to get to in leaps and bounds, which I think is, it's important.
It makes such a big difference having those people in your life that can help you see aspects of yourself that maybe you've got some insight into, but others you don't have as much, and can help almost hold your hand and support you as you're moving forward in the direction of what you're wanting and what you're wanting to create. So absolutely, and I can really see that those two absolutely go together. So I wanted to ask you, what 3 tips do you have, and you've shared some things already in here today, to create our best life? The ladies in here are all about, they're all conscious and wanting to manifest or create abundance in their lives. What are some useful tips you provide for the ladies here on how to create that for themselves?
Yeah, okay. Well, let me think. Okay. So I didn't have time to think of this. So I'm just seeing what comes to mind. So 3 tips you say. So the first one would definitely be around food. If we start looking at food as as something that we can have a healthy relationship with, and yes, I'm very aware of the words I use there, but if we can have a healthy relationship with our food, then we're not using it to support us. We're not using it in in a way that it's, it's something to lean on, or something to be there for us when we're struggling. There's plenty of other things that we can use that are way more powerful than food, and start getting to that point where you really enjoy it. Like I say to my clients, you should be able to make yourself a salad, or, hopefully we can make ourselves a salad and get excited about it. And we can do that when we know what we're doing. Like, you don't just do lettuce and tomato, like chuck all the fun stuff in there. If you want it sweet, add stuff in there that's sweet. If you want it savory, do that, and get excited, because if you're excited about the food that's on your plate, that's in front of you, you're going to like really enjoy it. Your body's going to digest it in such a powerful way. You're going to crave it more. Everything works in alignment, and it just feels really, really good. So definitely that. The second thing would have to be that it's important to communicate your needs. And this is something I was really lacking in. And it's such a great way of being able to empower yourself and bring in the right people in your life as well, is when you are able to express your needs in a beautiful, kind, loving way. Because when we're not meeting our needs is when we're lacking, and when we're lacking, we do some pretty destructive behavior. So the more we can meet our needs, the more we're going to enjoy life. And the third one is a bit controversial, but I think it's important that we put ourselves first. And I don't think a lot of women do that. And I think it's because we are, maybe we're mothers and we think that's the thought of putting ourselves before our children sounds wrong. Or maybe we're in a relationship and the thought of putting ourselves before our partner just doesn't sound right. But I honestly believe for us to show up as our best selves is to put ourselves first, because we can give more to others and be there more to others when we want to and if we need to, but we can give ourselves more when we're doing stuff for ourselves first. And I think for me personally, I got told I was selfish from quite a young age, and I didn't really understand what that meant. And maybe I had boundaries as a kid that was, I guess, creating a reaction in family members. And so I started to turn that off. And that created me problems as an adult, and really connecting back in with, what do they say when you're on an airplane? You don't put the mask on your kid first, you put it on yourself. And I know from my relationship with my husband, the more I look after myself, like the better our relationship is. And he knows when I'm looking after myself, because we come together and it's just beautiful. I've got time for him. I've got the energy. I show up for him. I'm not resentful. Don't have expectations on him. And I think that stuff is really, really powerful. And there's so much that goes around about being selfish or self-absorbed. And I just think, whatever, like just figure out what it is that you feel comfortable with, how you show up as putting yourself first. And we're all going to be doing that in a different way. But I think that's key. And when I put myself first, I put the right food in my body. I listen to influenced by the right things. And when we do that, we can really show up as our best versions of us. And I'm a better person for it. And I know that my clients who have learned that are better people, and they get to the end of their program and they're like, oh my gosh, I struggled so hard to put myself first. And now I'm like, hang on, let me think about whether I want to do this or not.
Yeah, that's it, right? And it's such an old way of thinking that it is selfish to put ourselves first. But when we prioritize ourselves, like you said, we've got more energy for others. We've filled up our cup. When we're giving from overflow, we've got to give to our family, friends, partners, when there are partners, kids, all these people. We can give more from such a genuine place, as you said, without the resentment, without all that stuff. I've often shared with people last year, I got myself towards the end of the year to a place where I was quite depleted, tired, and I made this conscious decision for myself now. And I said, that's it. This year, I'm only giving from a full cup. And that involves prioritizing me, prioritizing, what's important. So when we all do that, we let go of this concept that if there's something wrong with giving to self, we really fill ourselves up. We've got so much more. So I love that. I love the importance of communicating your needs, and we'll often hear it as the B word or setting boundaries. It's often coming out in that way. And I'm holding these words. Get excited about salad. So anyone here, have a think about it. How can you make your food more exciting, more fun? I get that lettuce, cucumber, tomato stuff. That is not exciting. Some fun stuff, as Melissa described it, and pop that in. Yeah. So beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing all of that, and thanks for sharing everything with our community today. I'm sure people will get a lot of value out of it. For those that want to, Mel, can you let us know how they can get in touch with you? And you can, of course, pop this on our chat as well so people know. Absolutely. And if you've got something you'd like to share with the community as well, that would be great.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you. I've loved talking and chatting with you. You can find me in my Facebook group, Healthy Empowered Women. And I am also, my business name is Improve Yourself. So you can find me on my website, improveyourself.net.au, or just reach out to me on Facebook or whatever. Yeah, I feel like I'm everywhere anyway. Thank you so much. I think if we can look at all the areas of our life as being healthy, the way we think, the way we feel, our relationships, our communication, self-care, as well as our food, it's an opportunity for us to be really showing up as our best self, which I think is totally worth it. We are worth it. We deserve whatever we want.
We're worth it. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Yep. Showing up and feeling the best we can inside and out. So thanks for those tips. So for those of us that have been here, noticing those patterns, noticing the Netflix patterns, what you're doing, have that awareness and make your salads, make your foods fun. So great tips. Thanks so much for sharing. So thank you, Melissa, for coming today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Was there something that you wanted to offer to the community as well, just before we finish up today as well?
I'm just releasing my first international retreat. So I've been running retreats in WA for nearly 7 years. Next year I'm going to fly. Finally, I haven't got on a plane yet, so I'm very excited. That'll be in Bali. So if anyone's interested, you're welcome to just pop a comment below, and I'm happy to reach out, or you can reach out to me. So,
how amazing would that be?
Yeah, I've got.
Never know, I might see you there. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
So good. And Melissa had another retreat recently. I saw photos. It looked amazing. She's from Perth, for those of you that aren't aware as well.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Well, thank you so much for that today. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you and learning more about you and learning more about nutrition. So thank you. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and look forward to connecting really soon. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for having me.